Good afternoon, everybody. Will you join us in Perpignan, where the 11th World Rugby Under-20 Championship is at the midway point of match day 2. The tournament has really come crackling out of the blocks, with 4 of the 6 opening matches finishing with a score or less to separate the teams. Once again, bright new rugby talent already showing the world just how good the future of the game will be. If you're just joining us for the first time, well, we have 12 teams in 3 pools playing in 3 sites. There's Pool A. Australia, as you can see, already getting their campaign back on track with a shellacking of Japan. New Zealand, Wales to come. That will be a huge game, of course. Pool B, I should say. In Perpignan today, Argentina getting the maximum haul from their outing against Scotland. And then Pool C, which is probably the most intriguing, really. France getting the win against Georgia, but not getting the bonus point. It means that South Africa against Ireland in Narbonne this afternoon could have a critical impact on the layout of that particular table once we get towards match day 3. The Stade Aimé Girard, the stage for Pool B today. Scotland have already come unstuck against Argentina, 29 points to 13. Now we have the 2 undefeated teams from round 1. A strong European flavour for England against Italy. Rotation, a key part of the management role in this tournament. Of course, 5 games in 18 days means teams will have to be rejigged regularly in order to keep players as fresh as possible, especially, of course, in pressure positions. Great support for both these teams this afternoon. All adds to the mix in this captivating tournament every year, producing more names to remember. Well, with rotation in mind, Steve Bates changes 9 of his starters for this one. The entire back line, bar 13 and 15, has had a makeover. So new halfbacks in Brandon Smith to run their game, with some serious strike weapons in Ibertoy and Loader out wide. Adjustments in each line of the pack. Seville and Hayes, the new prop. Sam Lewis into the engine room alongside Joel Kapoku. And Tom Willis augmenting a powerful back row trio. The buoyant Italians have relied on more consistency in selection for this one. It means 4 of their tight 5 remain in situ. Antoine Coffey starts at number 8. Outstanding fly half Antonio Rizzi has a new partner in Luca Cruzzato. Try-scoring winger Alessandro Fucucci is out with a hamstring issue. Tommaso Coppo will wear 14, with Matteo Mascali getting the gig at 13. So England set, just waiting for the Azzurrini to join them in the tunnel. Just 4 months ago, these two stepped out in Gorizia to start the Six Nations. England won on that day, but both teams have really moved on significantly since then. Personnel-wise, only 7 of England start today and 8 of the Azzurrini. So fascinating to see if the psychology has changed. I'm delighted to be joined by former Scotland 7 skipper Colin Gregor alongside me. How much do memories play into the psyche of this game, do you think?
I think for these 2 teams, not a massive amount, to be perfectly honest. They'll be concentrating on the Under-20 Championship and how important that is. I think England have been in the last 5 finals, so they'll be expecting to be there or thereabouts again. For Italy, their best ever Under-20s championship last year in Georgia, finishing in the top 8, so they'll be looking to really replicate that basically and run England as close as they can.
Before the action can start, first the formalities. For England, the national anthem, God Save the Queen. For Italy, il canto dell'italiano.
Ladies and gentlemen, please now stand up for the national anthems. Mesdames et messieurs, merci de vous lever pour écouter ensemble les hymnes nationaux en l'honneur de l'équipe d'Angleterre, in honor of the English team. God save the Queen.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen, God save our Queen.
Et en l'honneur de l'équipe d'Italie, in honor of the Italian team, Fratelli d'Italia.
So both teams stirred by the emotions of nationalistic pride. Colin, who are you particularly looking for, the key cogs for either side this afternoon?
I think when you look at that England team, so much in the back line, but it comes down to Marcus Smith, that fly half. A lot of big stories about him. So how does he manage the game? How does he release the power outside of him? And up against him, the Italian wonder that is their fly half, Antonio Rizzi. He loves an offload. If Italy can get any sort of front foot ball, we're looking forward to seeing him cutting loose.
Referee from Wales, Dan Jones, a man familiar to both these teams, refereed Italy against Scotland and Ireland in the recent Six Nations, and last year indeed in Tbilisi refereed England's first game against Samoa. There is Marcus Smith, 19 years of age, his first start for the England under-20s.
C'est parti dans ce match, le compte à rebours, nouveau compte à rebours, on est reparti, 6, 5.
The countdown has begun.
Time on.
Match day 2 about to begin for England and Italy. England with a dominant record against the Azzurrini, 3-0. They average 58 points to 6, though whether that has any relevance today, I doubt. This is an Italian team that's been on the up since the Six Nations. Lost that game to England in Gorizia, 17-27, and then indeed lost to Ireland by just 4 points, took a fair beating against France, but then beat Wales and beat Scotland. So maybe different opposition for England this afternoon.
Italy will also be buoyed by that last gasp victory in their first game. Although they won't be too happy with how they've started this one. Captain Michele Lamaro trying to run the short line and just knocking the ball on. Again, the importance of scrum time. Can Marcus Smith launch an England attack?
Brand looking to make the most of this start over Ben White. That is a big push though from the Italian 8. Brand still trying to release Smith. The ball just picked up there by D'Onofrio.
Foul play.
Now, the officials are going back for a call on foul play. A late hit, I think, is the call. Let's listen to the officials.
I haven't seen anything. What have you got?
Okay, so I've got a late hit by 10 blue on the guy who's down injured here. Okay. And I just want you to check to see did he use any arms.
Okay.
So it's definitely
The
a
call
penalty.
is on Antonio Rizzi's tackle on Rory Brand.
Yes, Dan.
We have a late tackle. We need
Philippe
to check.
Bonheur.
Was there use of an arms as well for
Who's
sanction,
going to
please?
check this out.
Yes, we checked the late tackle.
Inevitably, adrenaline is coursing through the veins right now. And sometimes that manifests itself in awkward positions, should we say.
Yeah, maybe Antonio Rizzi heard me talking him up and thought he had to make his mark on the game. Was there a use of it's a difficult one there?
It's the right arm that we can't see from that angle, I suspect, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a left shoulder. It's a big contact anyway.
A bit closer in, Philippe.
Yeah, as we see the zoom in.
Okay, Philippe.
Here's the call.
Okay, Philippe, can I tell you what I'm seeing?
Yes.
I am seeing a late tackle by 10 blue. However, he does wrap the arms, so I'm going penalty only.
I agree.
Simply the timing issue.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
Good call from the officials there, I would say.
10.
Excellent refereeing. Yeah, you could see
10.
he did make the effort.
It's late
To wrap his
your
arms.
It's a penalty only. Please be careful. Where's the mark?
Always these things look worse in slow
late
motion,
tackle.
but inevitably inside the first 5 minutes of any game, everybody wants to make their early mark, should we say. And here is an early call from Ben Curry, asking Marcus Smith to set up this line-out option. There is the reason for the penalty. The take in the middle of the line-out from Sam Lewis. The formation is there for Henry Walker. Scored 2 tries, of course, in that opener against Argentina.
Once. Twice, use it.
Crab-like towards that far side, so Brand will release into the midfield. Butler finding no way through. Basham trying to live up to his name. Big Joe Hayes trundles forward another metre or so. The forwards just looking to see if they can spy a gap
Tackle, release.
around the fringe of the breakdown. Ben Curry takes control as captain. Scrabbling forward and gets the try.
Try is good.
Try is given to the England captain,
One
Ben
movement,
Curry,
try is
on the
good.
board.
Power play from England, just asserting their dominance. Nothing flash there. It's all about the brute force of the England pack. Set up the maul and initially Italy defend it well. No panic from England though. It's just about pick and go, one pass rugby. And then we see referee again, Dan Jones, very clear.
10, hold,
It was
10,
one
hold.
movement. Oh,
Hold, time off.
or maybe he's not quite so happy now.
Okay.
Then we have to check the grounding.
Just when you thought it was safe.
Yeah. I think the actual,
Okay, what are we looking at?
he's not looking at a double movement, he's looking at whether the
We have
ball
to
was
check the
grounded.
grounding.
Well, Monsieur Bonheur in the truck, alerting referee Dan Jones to a possible cause for concern. As they step over to the big screen, they're going to need to check out what happened there at the base of the posts. Here we go.
How low he gets, and so once the ball's there, he can then reach out to ground. Is that over the line, or was it short and then a hand comes on? Not sure. We'll get another angle. Here we go. Maybe this will show us. Need to see that.
Looks like his right hand came to support the ball after his left hand had placed it. There's the ball, and that looks down, and his right hand.
Does it? Is it dislodged before his other hand comes in? Does he lose it there and then place it?
These are all the angles.
Okay, tell me what you're seeing.
I don't think it's conclusive enough to
The
say
ball
no
never
try.
touched the line, and the white player lost the control of the ball.
Okay, so it's going to be a scrum defending ball.
Tries disallowed.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. No, lost control. Scrum.
So, initial disappointment for England. Relief for the Azurini.
Lost control, it was short and then it bobbled forward, okay?
And a busy opening 3.5 minutes for our TMO, Philippe Bonheur. So hopefully we get a few minutes without requiring to go upstairs and let the game flow and let these under-20 internationals show us what they're all about.
No chance for siesta from Monsieur Bonheur as we get back into the game with a big 5-metre scrum for Italy. Crossato releasing it for Rizzi to clear his lines. Doesn't get too much distance, and it will be... Well, it's difficult to gauge the wind. We've had a shower of rain for the last half an hour, but now the sun is back out, and certainly in the earlier game, I should say, between Scotland and Argentina, it was coming from behind England's backs. I'm not so sure that it is still so prevalent in this game. We should keep an eye on that for the kickers as the England forwards set up the drive. Brand gets the call from Lewis. The Leicester Tigers lock. Working hard to get it back once again for his scrum half. Kapoku, a Saracen second row. Smith, Butler, but Butler takes man and ball. England having to work hard to set up position. They've been forced back to the 22. Now they come again. Oh, the pass there from Dingwall didn't find its target, and it's going to give Italy the chance to take possession and to take themselves away from their own danger area. As I mentioned, it was a tight, tough tussle in the Six Nations. In Gorizia, just 7-8 at half-time. Although England hit Azurini with 2 tries shortly after the break, it was a real close call in that match. Sun comes out as it swamps the Stade Migiral with light, and Antonio Rizzi gives his chance to just catch their breath and go again. There's Michele Lamado, 20 today. Special birthday for the Italian captain. Top tackler. Big man in this side. He was outstanding against Scotland, leading the charge defensively. I think it was 17 tackles that he made, so expect another big shift for him. The break from Marcus Smith, the Harlequins man, takes England over the try line legitimately this time. A virtuoso score from the England 10, breaks the scoreboard with 6 minutes on the clock. What an outstanding finish from that man, Marcus Smith.
By the number 10.
But the offload
that
put him through the gap was what really made the try. So often it's if you can get your arms free in the tackle,
Oh, and Smith does well to keep a hold of it. And what a finish around the fullback. It's a quality offload. We see the right foot step and the pace. Desperate Italian effort there, Crossato. It's too little, too late.
Yeah, credit to the Wasps man, Tom Willis. It was who got that ball free in the tackle and set up his fly half. Impressive work from the debutants in this tournament. So Marcus Smith winning just his third cap for the under-20s. Made his debut, in fact, against Italy in last year's Six Nations off the bench. Of course, came off the bench against Argentina. Turnover for the Azzurrini. Now, how can they respond?
Okay, no advantage, knock on. Okay, knock on, scrum, blue.
We've seen the way that Italy like to play their game now that they've discovered that cutting edge, that attacking edge that saw them score 7 tries against the Scots in Bari at the end of the Six Nations. And of course, coming back to score that 83rd minute try.
Just seeing the try
the Scots
again.
This time.
Sorry, Simon. Just the quality of the offload. And Marcus Smith, he starts on the inside of Tom Willis, and then he just sees the space on the outside, and the timing gives Willis enough time to get his arms free on the ground, pop the ball up. And Smith's got the quality skill set to gather that ball and then sidestep Italian fullback Biondelli.
Well, Smith replacing Grayson for this game, and the focus very bright on the Harlequins 10. No strike from the Italian front row. Brand trying to get England going quickly from inside their own half. Will Butler, part of the many that experienced this tournament in Tbilisi in Georgia last year. Ibatoy, another one. Jokapoku. They look at the short side. Brand spots opportunity. That ball went forward though. Walker will be brought back, but you can see the ambition and positivity that England are trying to employ early on, not allowing the Italian defence to settle.
Yeah, and they're coming down the short side. That's twice there that Brand recognised space where no one else thought there was. But what that does for Italy as the game unfolds, they now need to make sure that they keep a defender or two on that narrow side. And if they do that, they're going to shorten their defensive line the other side. So it's smart play from Rory Brand, keeping Italy honest around the breakdown.
That it is not too late. Be careful.
Rory Brand, the shortest player in this tournament, 1.64 metres, but it's a frame packed with power and pace.
I gather by the smile.
Names his favourite player as Aaron Smith, and you can see similarities with the way that he likes to play the game.
Yes, indeed. I think that's the thing for a scrum half. So much of it is just about making sure you keep the attack moving. Just get in, get the ball away.
Okay, let's
when
go.
there's half a gap, it's having a dart. It's making sure that the opposition defence know that you're a threat. They have to make sure that they're tight around that breakdown. And as I was saying, that if you do that, you're going to create space elsewhere.
Bind! Set!
Hold it, G3!
Ritzy looking to get his team out of their own half, and it's a very good kick from the Padova playmaker. Nothing much that Gabriel Ibatoy could really do about that. Thought it was going to float out.
Italy on the line, please.
Didn't have much of a landing zone there for that kick, but he put it right on the money. Just that no man's land for Ibatoy. Didn't know whether to take it, whether to let it go out. Excellent line out though from England.
Hold 3.
Brand makes sure that he doesn't give Italy the opportunity to first foot into their own 22. 10 minutes gone. Just that solitary score from Marcus Smith. Danilo Fischetti, one of the heavy-duty Italian forwards. There's another one of them, Matteo Liccardi, scored in that Six Nations one of the 2 Italian tries. Off a line-out drive, no doubt we will see that later on from the Italian forwards, given the opportunity. Crossato wrapped up by Tom Willis. Willis, who made his debut for the under-20s in the Six Nations against the Azzurrini. There's Nicolo Canone wearing the 24 jersey, the Italian second row.
Roll away, 3, white.
Joe Hayes
Illegal, 3 white, it's got to roll.
rolling to the satisfaction of referee Jones.
Italy will be really happy with the response since England's score. Managed to base themselves in England territory, go through a couple of phases, building a bit of pressure. So a nice little kick from Rizzi, getting England into their 22. Then we see an offload from him. You just see here,
is that middle line?
Big number 3.
Okay, line is middle.
Does then make the effort, doesn't he? Roll away. Joe Hayes, but it's a little bit too little, too late. And an outstanding kick again from Rizzi.
Lucardi, step by step for the Italian forwards. There's the first step. Ball presented back to the Calvasano hooker. Coffey coming in to take control and possession as they try and find forward gear. The cogs mesh, the power is added from auxiliary backs, but it's not happening. Dan Jones said you had enough time,
twice,
and it stopped twice. Moment is gone.
Yep, and again, it's good refereeing. He's very clear with his instruction. As Italy set it, they didn't move. He said that you've used it once. Another couple of seconds, he said, you've used it twice, or that's twice, use it. And that was when they started going forward. But they've been told to use it. They didn't have in the 5 seconds they're given. And as a result, even though the maul didn't go to ground, it's an England put into the scrum.
Always interesting to see the mix in those forwards. Saw Alex Seville there with his hands on his hips. Saw most of the game, that first game, with Toby Trinder's injury after just 10 minutes. Gabriel Ibatoy similarly came on for Ali Crosdale for just over the hour.
Let's go, lads, please. Marcus here.
And he is a potent weapon, to say the least. Some of the tries he scored in Tbilisi were just mesmeric.
Oh, almost out of this world, but it's just the strength and depth that England have. The fact that Jordan Olawafela, knew I was going to tie myself up with that one first. He's only on the bench. He was so good in the first game against Argentina.
I suspect he'll have plenty of chance to practice it when he comes off the bench today.
So we'll be looking forward to Ibitoy getting some ball, that's for sure.
Okay, lads.
Ball
elbows on the ground.
Tantalisingly in the middle of that tunnel. Just see nobody willing to give an inch to lift their foot to hook it.
Reset.
Just getting a rebound, I think, off a knee, didn't it, to set it there, but nobody able to get the shove on.
Yeah, and I think Michele Lamaro, the Italian captain, was trying to say that England hadn't hooked it. But actually, you saw England tried to hook it, they just missed with it, and that's why the ball was stuck in there. Dan Jones not happy with how slow Italy are setting at the scrum, though. Want some increased tempo to this game.
Point! Set!
Well, the free kick goes
Ball in the tunnel.
Azzurrini way, as England unable to strike that ball back. Now, what is the call going to be from Lamaro here? Fischetti, the Calvasano loose head, doing his job.
One from each side now. We need to
seem to be heading towards the turf. This is really an arm wrestle of epic proportions so early in this game.
It is indeed, and it's both forward packs trying to assert dominance, trying to, so that the referee then thinks, okay, one pack is superior to the other, so any tight calls you then want to try and influence the referee, but so far it's been very even Stevens. Italy with that excellent attacking position with a really narrow setup to their backs.
Great shot there of just the pressure that's coming through. Just about there for Cruzatto. Ibatoy gets his man, but Donofrio keeps it alive. Slow ball for Italy. They're going to have to work hard around the fringes to make any headway against this taut England defence.
Make your hands still, lads.
The forwards queuing up for their go. Head first and drive from the Azurini pack.
White, hands away!
Almost there, but not quite.
Advantage.
The advantage call from the referee, but they can smell success here. Cruzatto releases it in the back line. The cross kick from Rizzi. Taken in by Coppo.
No, going back.
Come back for that earlier call. England resisting all Italian threats on both sides of the pitch.
Italy edging forward with every phase, inches at a time. England eventually concede the penalty, so Rizzi, he has a shot to nothing. He goes with the cross-field kick, comes to nothing, so we come back for the penalty. And again, the ambition of Italy, not taking the shot at goal, kick to the line out, back their forwards, back the maul, scored the winning try against Scotland from the maul, so looking to get the first try of the game against England from a similar format.
So it's as you were. Italy go again. Again, the basic functions are carried out perfectly. Again, Locardi trying to get the drive into the right angle, but the breakaway is there from Willis. The Wasps man doing great work to pull that ball clear, and they get the call. Tom Willis, of course, his older brother Jack knows what it's like to win this tournament. 2 years ago, he lifted the trophy. And now Willis the younger looking to show his value already to this England outfit.
Yeah, outstanding defence from the entire England pack. Just did not let Italy get their maul set. It was England that were going forward. And from nowhere, Willis rips the ball free. Penalty gets them up the field, but then just that little error gives Italy another chance.
Scrum more line out, please. Scrum goal.
They enter into the lineup without telling us how they are.
Okay.
And they jump before.
Okay.
Okay, so we can.
I'll manage it. I'll manage it. Okay.
Michele Lombardo just querying the England line-out tactics. Interesting to see this England setup. You realise the likes of Marcus Street, of Sam Moore, Dino Lamb, all injured and unavailable to be here. But also Ben Earl, Tom Curry, Nicky Zekwi, Cameron Redpath, all being called into the England senior squad to go to South Africa. So there's at least a septet of players that aren't available. And when you look at the captain, Ben Curry, winning his 5th cap. The first 3 caps, though, were in the Grand Slam Team Six Nations last year. So he's a relative newbie to this outfit. So there's a certain amount of mixing and matching going on as they set themselves for this tournament.
One thing it does show is the strength and depth that they have. That this is still an incredibly formidable team, 23 that they've got out today, with all those names missing. That's credit to the youth setup in England.
Well, they were kind of used to it, I guess, in Georgia with the likes of Joe Fakanasinga, and both of the Currys were out. A couple of other names missing. Jack Maunder, the Exeter scrum half, wasn't there. Zekwe as well. But here's the talent on view as Parton slides it through. Ibatoy up hounding Rizzi back over his own try line.
Good goal.
It's just great recognition. Rory Brand and Marcus Smith get some tempo into the game. Just that heads up rugby. Where's the space? We'll go out to the wide channels, and the weight of the grubber kick through is from Tom Parton is perfect. Ritzy does well to get back there and cover it, but when you've got Ibitoy breathing down your neck, you almost wish you hadn't got back to cover it.
Do you understand? Yeah.
First quarter done. Still that solitary score on the board. Joe Hayes on this near side. Former Nottingham Forest Academy goalkeeper. Apparently 3 generations of goalkeepers in his family, so presumably a tight head with very good hands.
Would suggest so. He'd make a fairly formidable goalkeeper, that's for sure.
I'm sure he was a little lighter than he's stacking at the moment. Doing a good job though on this side on Fischetti, the Italian loose head.
Work harder to get this back. Yeah, he's going to stick in there. Yeah.
Sure, for the
Same
rugby
scrum, lads.
purists,
There.
they'll be
Okay,
enjoying the battles
so
at the scrum.
Scrimmage.
Looks like it's
okay, yeah, please.
still fairly neck and neck for the less pure of the rugby spectators. They'd like the ball to be out a little quicker.
You mean anybody that's played in the back line like yourself?
Well, I didn't want to suggest that, but yes.
Well, it's a facet of the game that both teams obviously feel that they can get some ascendancy in.
Exactly, and it is. It's such an important part of the game that you want to have at least parity. That's a far cleaner strike there for England.
Yeah, great shot of that hook there as Butler tries to straighten things up. Butler making his first appearance of this tournament, having appeared in Georgia, and Ibitoy, of all people, finds his handling going wrong at the wrong time.
It was a collective intake of breath around the stadium as we saw Ibitoy in midfield about to get ball, and then there was a collective groan as he just couldn't quite hold on to the pass from Marcus Smith. And I think that's an interesting stat, isn't it? England, just 5 handling errors. It's just allowing Italy to keep a hold of this game. You're in a position like that on the Italian line. You just want to get through some phases, make Italy make some tackles, make them defend. See if they've got the answers to the likes of Ibitoy, to the dangerous footwork of Marcus Smith, to the power of the big ball carriers in that English back row.
Some wonderful pictures of the pressure, the power, the strength that is coming through 8 young bodies on either side, determined to not give an inch. And we're seeing it again now.
I'm happy as long as it's to the left of the space, that's fine.
Pressure on the Italian 8. Some 7-8 metres away from their try line.
Crouch!
They have got the put in though.
Bind! Set!
Crusato.
Hold in.
With a good clearance. Tom Parton played at fullback in all those 5 games last year in Georgia. Ibitoy, a slightly ironic cheer from the crowd as he catches this one. But you know what danger and damage he can do given the opportunity. Smith thrown wide by Parton. Willis, little offload into Ben Loader. First time we've seen Loader, and it's Loader to Parton. A London Irish 1-2 gets the second try on the board for England. Again, very well manipulated and worked. And in the end, the extra man on the outside of the left winger able to finish fairly easily.
And it's a lesson for Italy. If they don't kick to touch, if they give this England back 3 an opportunity to run at them, then that's what's going to happen.
Okay, Philippe, we'll take the conversion and I'll check it, okay?
Gathers the ball, big pass infield to Ibitoy. Look at him go now, off the left, off the right, half a gap, but he rides through that tackle, he gets England on the front
Philippe,
foot.
are we thinking more than penalty?
And then we've got the pass accuracy in midfield, another excellent pass from Parton out to that wide left-hand side. And he's the man that actually then crosses the whitewash.
Okay, we don't need to review it then, no?
Picks up the support line.
Smith with an excellent conversion from out wide. And after the arm wrestles in the set piece, England explode and expand their game to great effect.
See both wingers working well. Ibitoy, just you want to see a man like him ball in hand, but it was that pass from Parton so important, and the skills in the offload. Again, it's Loader just coming back in off that wing, get the hands free because you're on the front foot. Parton with great support line. Excellent team try from England.
Okay, time back on.
Wrong club used by Antonio Rizzi for the restart. Dan Jones has had a busy old game, hasn't he, as referee? I'm sure his police mates back at Keynsham Custody Centre are watching with interest. Whether it's on the beat or in the station. There he is, very popular member of the officiating crew out here.
And it's an important development for the referees and the assistant referees this tournament as well.
Sure.
What they do on the field, but also how they bond as a team. It's becoming more and more important that how the referees and the assistant referees, the TMOs, how they all work together. It's a great opportunity to spend some good quality time together, develop, make sure they're making the right calls on the pitch as well.
Brand again looking at that short side, taking the rebound ball. Almost, but not quite. Smith and Brand not quite getting into each other's channels really, and the turnover ball is there for the men in blue. Quarter of an hour left of this first half, and Italy will be desperate to get something on the scoreboard fairly quickly. Oh, Rizzi looking to expand their game from inside their own half. Corsato getting isolated, big hit coming in from Lewis. Staffordshire lad, captain of their under-18s, getting his first start of this particular tournament. Set back by Michele Paddy, an Italian tight head. You can see already some very tired forwards out there right now.
Good, winger's good.
Corsato with no real option but to put the box kick up. Parton doing very well to spin out of the attentions of Giovanni Donofrio. Smith spotting opportunity and the gap's there. His skipper's alongside him, but he's going to throw wide. Will Butler steps inside one, hands it on to Ben Loader. And that is a beautiful team score from Team England, showing what they're about. Loader scored the bonus point try against Italy in the Six Nations. He's got try number 3 here in the World Rugby Under-20 Championship.
And another breathtaking try from England. Marcus Smith, as soon as there's half a gap, he just explodes into it. He's so quick off the mark. He's got the head up, he knows where the space is. As we see, look at that step off the left, back inside Muscardi. But what about the width of the pass, the accuracy? And then the simple ball back inside.
I'm happy with that, I'm happy. I've seen it, I was in line.
Steve Bates,
I'm happy to make that call, yeah, thank you.
Coaching guru in charge of this England setup, must be satisfied with the way that they've broken out over the last 5 minutes with those 2 tries.
As we see the end here, the referee TMO Bonheur was suggesting that could have been forward, but Dan Jones was saying no, he was in line with it, he was happy with it. It's a relatively straightforward finish on the outside for Will Butler and Ben Loader.
Loader's 4th try in England under-20s cause. Was called up to the Brighton camp by Eddie Jones recently to get experience of what it was about to play at the elite level. Marcus Smith, of course, another one who's been regularly involved as an apprentice, in inverted commas. Indeed, Marcus Smith made an early connection with Eddie Jones when he was at Brighton College, captain of their school first 15. Back in 2015, days ahead of Japan against South Africa, and Eddie Jones just wandered over and had to catch his eye, and that was when the first connection was made. And of course, well, we know what happened latterly with that Japan against South Africa game.
Yeah, the making of Eddie Jones' career.
Maybe the making of Marcus Smith's as well. Certainly the beginning of it. Now, interesting that the England 8 are beginning to get a little advantage at the set piece. Brand trying to make something of it. Great hands from Smith. Butler trying to tease the defenders out of position. Looks back inside, finds his scrum half. And there's the bonus point score.
Time off. Time off, wait.
Check.
Philippe.
Is the call.
When I've come around, the ball's up. So try yes or no, please. Was there a grounding before I've come around to see the held up? Yes, please, Philippe.
Philippe Bonheur going to have a look at this. My instantaneous reaction was it was good, but
9-on-9 Crisato, he manages to wrap up that ball. Doesn't look like it's down there.
It is there.
Was it? Oh.
I have a decision.
That's a bicep. Here's the call.
No try.
Okay.
No try is the call.
No try.
England have to wait. That's the second try disallowed for the men in white.
Hold up.
It was Brand that started it, though, the quick tap penalty. Look at the hands from Marcus Smith.
Keep square.
And what is so good from Will Butler there is keeping the ball in two hands, so the Italian defence sit off him because he doesn't know if he's going to pass it or carry ball. Gets the offload back inside. And credit to Crisato, the Italian scrum half there. That's an outstanding tackle to save the try.
It seems to be a feature of England's attack that they're looking at that 15-metre channel on their left-hand side. It's a regular mode of attack.
Yeah, and looking to get some tempo and try and catch Italy before they can get set.
Use 9.
Basham to Brand. Butler on the charge ball, but loses it in the contact. Slam clear by Michele Lamado. And Italy, well, as the sun comes out, it's going to get difficult to get enough air in those lungs, I think, right now, because they're feeling like they're under the cosh, albeit we're only half an hour into this match.
Tom?
Yes, very much so.
Numbers?
Last-ditch defence on occasions. Big tackle there on Butler, dislodging the ball. So they've done well to get out of their own 22, but this English wave is just growing.
And the rhythm is increasing and improving from an England perspective. Brand is one of the key conductors within this English orchestra, and he's really dictating the tempo.
Yeah, and they're getting on the front foot. They've got, the ball carrier always has options. On the whole, they've been making the correct decisions, but on that occasion, going out the back to Butler, he's isolated. And it's Damiano Mazza. Great work getting onto ball. England just ineffective with that clear out. Italy win themselves a penalty. A chance to just get back into England territory. They'll happily slow the tempo down. England are playing with incredible pace, incredible intensity when they can. Italy more suited to a slower tempo game.
Yeah, the Palmer Centre doing what his team needed there, allowing Rizzi to send them once again into England's half. But there you see him. Perfect technique.
2 seconds.
From Mazza. Just get the feeling that Italy need those points on the board just to put it in their heads, to galvanise their confidence, to make them know they're still in the game. Of course, plenty of time, I know that, but the way that the game has gone, they still look at that bagel on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and they have been in position to get points. They just came away with nothing. This is a chance now.
D'Onofrio finding no way through there, but ball will be back for his side to go again. England staying firm in that channel at the moment. Italy try and look a little wider. Canale sets it back. Oh, the hands of Rizzi just letting him down at a crucial moment. And so annoyed is the Italian number 10.
Okay.
I think the captain is going to get a bit of a lecture.
By pushing him into the player, and I'm having players shout towards me when I make a decision. Okay. It stops, or we have no dialogue. Okay. Is that clear? Thank you.
Couldn't be clearer than that. Ultimate respect for the referee, expected and demanded.
Yep.
Good refereeing again. Just having a word with Lamaro, just saying, I'll have a dialogue with you, I'll speak to you.
Wind up and let's go.
I'm not having all your players moaning at me anytime I make a decision.
Time back on.
Jacopo Bianchi on the near side, wearing 6. There he is.
Bind. Set.
It's a big back row the Italians have.
Keep it height, lads.
Really having to work overtime already in this game. Such is England's flexibility in attack and the movement down those flanks. Parton's kick not helping his team out on that occasion.
It wasn't far away though. See again, England's good, solid scrum and just looking to play territory. Could have launched an attack, but instead they looked to get the boot to ball, put some pressure on Italy, but it was overcooked, only just right enough. But straight out, obviously it come back to where the kick was taken from.
Shortened line out for the Azzurrini. Again, it doesn't work, and again the set piece lets Italy down. And again, England looking to attack from their own 22. Fraser Dingwall in Northampton Saints centre, struggling to get the ball back, but doing the job. Lewis. England's connection seems to be being oiled now. They seem to be working a little quicker and a little in more sync than we saw early in the game. Smith changes the options with that wiper kick that takes Biondelli right over into the corner. Does very well, but Smith's waiting for the call. Ibatoy, his flank man, his wing man, not getting the chance there. Walker making the great call to come on the angle, but forgot to take the ball. Very, very tired bodies now on both sides. Handling errors beginning to stack up for England, though they will point to the scoreboard and say, well, we've done enough. The break is on for Mazza. Mazza looks inside and looks outside to Antoine Coffi. And Italy break the bagel with 5 minutes of the first half left. Antoine Coffi, the Amatori Palmer, back rower, does the job. The break set up by Damiano Mazza. And the Italians celebrate the score. It came from an English handling error, but at last the Azzurrini find their cutting edge.
And they say anything England can do, we can do better. Quality work on the outside, the offloads, keeping the ball alive. You think, oh, on the inside, then you've got Rory Brand covering across, making the tackle. Coffi, he's lung bursting down that touchline to get in support. See him in the background, pinning the ears back. Oh, great weight of pass, a little dummy inside, ball back outside. That is an outstanding Italian try.
Wonderful to see. Italian rugby at its very best, and matching up, as you said, Colin, to what we've seen from the English attack, and just highlighting once again the quality, the standard of rugby that we're seeing in this tournament, and the young talent coming through. Well, it's quite audacious when you see movement like that.
It's just great to watch, and numbers 1 to 15 from all nations across the world just have such a high skill set now. So Kaylee Lamaro, the back row, throwing a big 10-metre pass left to right on the outside. Then we see again the dummy and the offload out the tackle from Mascardi. His centre compadre on the outside, Mazza. He looks inside and then he feeds it outside. Coffi does well, almost getting under the posts, but unfortunately for Italy, rather, Rizzi misses the conversion.
Biondelli, the Italian fullback, has had to go off and be replaced by Andrea De Masi, wearing 23. Challenge has allowed Ben Loader to go through. It's a loader 1-2. The Italian fans aren't happy, but referee Dan Jones is adamant.
Yeah, fine. No
it
problem
was contact in the air. Rizzi.
Yeah, try it. We'll just wait for the injured player, okay?
Still prone on the ground.
Nothing at all.
But
they've gone in the air, they've collided.
Called it
it's
immediately. It happened.
No problems.
And it was England who reacted first.
We got time off.
And the bonus point try is in the bag before half-time.
Again, the referee was very, very clear. The ball was up in the air. Marcus Smith's restart a long time. And it's Rizzi, I think, that went up for it, unsuccessful. And then it's just a simple missed tackle. As we see Andrea De Masi on the field, he's just sitting on his heels when he's got Ben Loader running at him. It doesn't look good, but as Ben Jones said, it was just a contest for the ball. And you've got to applaud the footwork of Ben Loader up against De Masi. Just steps him on a sixpence. Good to see Rizzi back on his feet.
An awkward collision between the England captain and the Italian fly half. As the English fly half sets up to convert the response.
We're happy. There's two players in the air going for the ball. It's a rugby collision. There's no foul play. Okay, time back on, Philippe.
And the Italian travelling support not happy, it's fair to say, with that call.
Yeah, and when you look at it, it looked nasty in the way that Rizzi came to ground, but it's a rugby collision. That's a great saying from the referee, and it's absolutely right. These things do happen in the game. I would ask Italy, why is your fly half going up to receive the restart? Surely one of your back row should be in that position, or your second row.
Well, the key is Ben Curry had his eyes on the ball.
Absolutely.
And no idea where the Italian player was, I think. But
and the important thing is that Rizzi is okay now.
Exactly right. So England bouncing back from that Italian score with their own fourth try. Marcus Smith unable to add the conversion, the first kick that he's missed so far today. And kicking has been quite impressive from Marcus Smith this season. His first Premiership season, amassed over 200 points for Harlequins. Kicking pretty much 3 of every 4. 28 appearances for the Quins in what was a difficult season for the Southwest London side. So coming towards the end of this first half, there's the Italian replacement, Andrea De Masi, living up to a famous Italian rugby name, give or take.
Time back on.
Indeed, yeah. Hopefully he gets some ball and we can see what he's like. Normally in the centre, certainly De Masi.
Butler doing well to pick that one up and feed on to Ben Curry, and the power comes in from the England skipper. The offload to Butler doesn't go to hand. But again, you see what Ben Curry brings to the side. Curry from such a big rugby background. Of course, his dad was a prop with Wasps and with Rosslyn Park. His cousin Sam Olver has lifted this trophy back 4 years ago. Fly half, of course. And Curry, the two twins, really making impact for Sale Sharks. And the captain leading from the front in every way here.
Yeah, just unfortunate for him that the handling didn't quite work. Will Butler in support. It was almost, I think Curry just took it one step too far. And Butler was on the verge of running past him. And as a result, it goes behind him. Process knocked on.
Final play of this first half.
Okay, use it, 8.
Good clearance again from Crusato, but Parton in good position. Weighing up the options, scanning opportunity. Loader, his club teammate in support, but it's not going to come to anything.
No option, okay, scrum, blue.
Going to get a scrum before we head for the hutches.
On that occasion, Italy's defence is outstanding. You just see Damasi there going really low with the tackle on Loader.
Okay, let's go. Last play. Half time.
The ankle bite just chops him to ground early in the process. I think Loader was expecting to hit the ground with such force. Ball's dislodged.
Let's get the ball back. Let's get the ball back. Try on two.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
1, 2, 3. And now 2, 3. 2, 3.
Okay, wait.
Let's go.
Luca Crozzato out to Rizzi. Rizzi says we need to talk about this. Let's go off and make the most of the half-time interval. It's been a pretty impressive first 40. England with 4 tries to 1 advantage. They lead at the break, 26 points to 5.
C'est la pause est partie, 3 pour les Anglais comme pour les Italiens, 40 minutes de jeu déjà et des résultats à vous donner, ce que nous vivons ici en direct la soirée. Pour les Anglais et les Italiens, l'Afrique du Sud mène pour l'instant du plaisir avec 12 points marqués.
Welcome back to the Stade Amé-Girard, where England have produced a powerful first 40 minutes to get the bonus point sorted already with those 4 tries. Italy, though, have never given up, worked so hard to keep themselves in this game, and as a result got that try from the number 8 Antoine Coffey. But those forwards have been in quite a battle, certainly in the set piece, and up front it's been a real muscle-wrenching exercise. Big support for both of these teams in all sorts of colours, with all sorts of headwear. Has been some very interesting rugby entertainment as ever in this World Rugby Under-20 Championship. It has been a busy day already for referee Dan Jones in all sorts of areas, but he is, in the most part, refereed very equitably and very sensibly. I'm Simon Ward, alongside me Colin Gregor. Colin, in terms of what we've seen so far, is it more of the same, the call from the England camp, and what do the Italians do to get themselves back into this game?
I think for England it is, and it's just taking the chances that they've created. I think for Italy they'll look to try and get a hold of some more ball, try and do it in England's half, which is not going to be easy. And it's we saw from their try an outstanding finish from Kofi, but the actual team play, if they can get some width to their attack, they look very, very dangerous. Just looking to see as well, Rizzi has been replaced, so I don't know if that collision he had going for the high ball is the result of that. But certainly DeMarco came on against Scotland and was very, very effective.
7 on his feet.
Yes, I know you were impressed with what you saw from the young fly-half. There he is. Plays his rugby out of L'Aquila in the north of Italy. It was an impressive first 40 from Marcus Smith, his first start in the England under-20 number 10 shirt.
Just looking at the massive hit from Ibitoy on the kickoff, or the box kick. Such a good kick as well, giving him the chance, and England win the penalty. Unfortunately, Ibitoy's next involvement, not quite so good.
Much as we were really looking forward to seeing him play, he would be disappointed with some of his handling in this game thus far.
Yeah, it's a really difficult situation for him, where he's not picked for the first game. He then comes into the team for this game, and so he's desperate to make that impression. That really positive impression. A couple of times he's almost just overrunning. He's just too keen, taking his eyes off the ball, thinking about what he's going to do before he's done the basics of catching.
Crouch! Bind!
You can see how tight it has been in the set piece. It's been mesmeric at times, such as the pressure between the two and the way that they've had to hold their patience. Ibitoy's handling, he stands up to that one and he winds the engine up to come back at pace. What balance, what power from the Quins wingman. There's another Harlequin. Smith out to his captain Curry. Tom Willis had a prominent game in both defence and attack so far. Looking back inside for Fraser Dingwall. Joe Hayes, the Leicester Tigers tight head, losing the ball in contact. Scrappy play at the moment. The two teams try and settle themselves back into their rhythm after the half-time break. Parton, as ever, safe and secure under that high ball. Joel Kapoku, what an addition he's been. Didn't make the Six Nations, had 7 months out with a metatarsal issue. Now back in the England ranks for Dino Lamb. The Harlequin second rower injured and unable to make this. There's another second rower. Sam Lewis stretches out. Lewis looking back inside. Could he have gone himself? Well, Lewis, who started as a wing, showed astounding speed there. Maybe, just maybe, he should have backed himself for that one.
As we go back, it's a quality out the back door offload from Kapoku. And look at the pace here from Lewis. Almost thinks he should have just gone for it. He almost then remembered, hang on, I'm not a winger anymore. I'm a second row. I should look for some support.
Okay, time off.
Great to see him in full flight. And again, it comes from that offload,
Guido,
that ability to keep the ball alive.
Sorry, Guido Romano.
Okay.
An early second half replacement for that man. Danilo Fischetti has done enough and had enough by the looks of that picture.
Okay, time back on.
It's been a tough 44 minutes for him. It's incredibly tough, each and every one of the scrums. Just a real battle for possession. Italy being asked to do a lot of defending. It's a big ask for the front rows in particular.
Wait.
Coffey gets the call from Matza.
He's got the ball, play on.
Goes into an English cul-de-sac and doesn't come out with the ball. It's England to do. But then the interception from D'Onofrio.
Cool it.
Nobody able to keep the possession for too long, it would appear.
Cool, he's knocked it on in the contact.
Curry and Coffey have a
scrum,
a chat.
Wide ball. No high tackle. Knock on. Scrum, white ball. Are you okay?
It's a great read from D'Onofrio to get in, but he then gets a little carried away rather than just riding the tackle, ensuring Italy maintain possession. He thinks, yeah, I'll get the offload to his number 8, Coffey, but in the process there's a knock on. So
keep it honest.
Bit of a frantic couple of minutes there. Great turnover from England, from Ben Curry at the breakdown. Then straight away, D'Onofrio gets the intercept, but England, it's back as you were.
Josh Basham, the London Irish number 8, picks up and has a look. Basham, one of the 4 exiles men in this group, doesn't make the headway though that they were hoping for.
Cool it, 8. Cool. Okay, 9 has gone in, trying to see it off.
Made his Premiership debut this season for Nick Kennedy's side. Of course, Kennedy not in that particular job anymore. But Basham, I know, has made a very good impression within the group.
Line.
It's the dominant tackle there from Italy, though, from Jacopo Bianchi. And Rory Brand, the scrum half, knows that he's the first man there. As a little man, he just tries to get in low. But seen as sealing off from referee Dan Jones.
The take from Matteo Canali, but the mistake from Crossato, and the heat will impact. It's a pleasant breeze for the spectators, but out there in the sun you're looking at 23, 24 degrees, and it would appear to be limiting some of the players now. More changes in the Italian front row. Matteo Nocera replacing that man Michele Pari.
And again, he can be happy with his 47 minutes or so against England. They've had that parity in the scrum. That's where you look to your replacements to have the same sort of impact, or maybe even they're fresher now than the England front row. So can they assert some dominance, put some pressure on, sort of that last scrum that England number 8 Basham was picking up under pressure.
You've stood up, but you've gone slightly early. Let's have a reset. Same ball, please. Let's sort it out. Stay down. Yeah, stay down. And don't lean
London
on,
Irish, and reminds me that they used to change their entire front row. I think it was 10 minutes into the second half. Are you surprised that some of these props are being changed so close to half-time that they haven't gone to that 10-15 minute mark? I suppose there's always a chance they could come back, that said.
Well, yeah, and I guess with the second day in relatively quick succession, having played on Wednesday as well, you're just looking to keep your props as fresh as you can. But often wonder in the 44th minute, you know, as well, just changing at half time or give them a couple more minutes. But then when you...
That was my thinking. But
yeah, but when you saw how Fischetti was looking when he came off, maybe those extra 4 minutes had pushed him over the edge.
Wasn't enough air over Perpignan at that point in time, I suspect. Walker has got enough air, and England trying to get that ball into the midfield. Brand just held in. Good defence from the Ezzerini.
He was the extra roll, okay? He's gone to play, he was on his feet, gone the extra roll.
Rory Brand, who began his rugby life in Melrose at the age of 6, but then moved south of the border and made his debut against Italy in the Six Nations of last year. Smith, another who made his England debut against the Italians. Fraser Dingwall changes his route, takes England up to halfway. Walker, good handling and awareness. Willis, abrasive number 6, so difficult to put down. Smith angles it over the top, and a very well worked and astute kick from England's playmaker.
Yeah, great to see England when they get ball in their own half, on their own 22. No thought of kicking the ball back to Italy. They want to launch an attack. And it's once they've drawn Italy up into that defensive line that Marcus Smith recognises space in behind. And just that deft little chip kick, putting pressure back on Italy.
You can just see the dominance of England's play just on that bottom stat. 439 metres made.
Like that, okay? Lead with shoulders.
Just shows that the way they've been trying to play their game. Still got half an hour left of this match, of course, and no doubt there will be more opportunities for running rugby. But they have started with a big positivity to their game that Steve Bates and his coaches Anthony Allen, James Ponton and Richard Blaze have been trying to instil in this group.
2 and 4 white. 4 and 2 white.
And we've seen with the tries that they've scored, when it works, it's so effective. One thing that a little concern for England at the beginning of the second half is the number of penalties. Getting that one just a silly penalty, diving in at the knees of Italy as they try and set them all. Dan Jones having none of that.
Gabriel Ogre and James Scott into the mix, replacing those two. And it is game minutes that will have to be managed. I mentioned it at the top of this game. It's so important with 5 games in 18, 19 days, whatever it is, that the players' workload is managed very carefully and quite often quite specifically as well.
Yeah, and Kapoku was the second row that had started both games, so no great surprise to see him going off after 50 of this one. It's so important, especially in the early stages. England have the bonus points secured. You've got to look at the longer picture too.
Sloppy play from the Italians, and the ball's going to go loose. Who's going to pick it up? There were 4 England players sniffing opportunity there, but Ben Loader couldn't pull it in. Hunting his hat-trick, of course, the London Irish wingman. What a year it could be for Ben Loader. Last year was a big enough year. Younger brother Danny, part of the Reading football side and part of the England under-17 football side that lifted the World Cup. And how Ben would love to replicate that mission for the England rugby side.
Okay, let's go, lads. Time back on.
Nicola Tadia, the try scorer, of course, against Scotland, comes into this mix against England in a very different scenario at the moment, with 3 tries deficit that the Azzurrini are trying to make up.
Early 3. No, you've leaned forward early.
Joe Hayes been pinged for that one. First line out for Gabriel Ogre, the Wasps hooker.
24 blue. Time off, wait him, hold him, Sean.
Changes, brings on Lodomani. They're wearing 20 into the second row. Safe take at the front from Scott. Smith coming around to make the extra playmaker outside Butler, opening the Italian door. England stepping through, swamping things. And it's Ibatoy who has the muscle to finish off.
Yeah, we've got
well, again, England working that ball right the way down the back line.
He was going down,
and Ibatoy able to hold on to the ball and get his first try. That's his 8th try for the under-20s.
And again, it's Marcus Smith not giving the ball under pressure, just keeping a hold of it, throw the dummy, go through the gap. And then Ibatoy at the end, he's got the strength to barrel through the last-ditch Italian defence, including almost a slap to the face in an effort to make the tackle. Again, Marcus Smith in midfield, just half a gap, and he's got the vision and the pace.
And it was clever play because Butler was in as first receiver, and it was allowed Smith to go around the corner and just take a look at what was out there. There we see Butler in as first, and that was where Smith was allowed to go through the hole.
Yeah, and exactly, and looking at it again, it's just him making the recognition of the Italian defence. On this occasion, it's Mazza just comes out the line too much, gives half a gap.
Okay, let's go. Time
Smith's
back on.
got the presence, the pace to get through it. He then links to the outside with Fraser Dingwall, Tom Parton and Ibatoy.
So England making another change in the front row. Gloucester prop for Gloucester prop. Kieran Knight replacing Alex Seville. And it looks like Damiano Mazzo is going to have to be replaced as well. Alessandro Fusco, normally a scrum half, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out for the Azzurrini.
16, let go.
Fusco looks like he's gone on to the left wing. That's him gathering the ball now.
16.
And Damasi and other replacements into the centre.
Italy desperately trying to manoeuvre position. Unforced error from Smith. And there is the Italian centre. Obvious problems for him.
You hold on to him, just let go of him, please.
Jacopo! Jacopo!
Stay.
Okay, 6 blue, 6.
Change in
time off.
In the Italian back row as well. That's Davide Ruggieri into the back row for Jacopo Bianchi. I think that's the last change that Fabio Rosselli and Andrea Moretti have got from the Italian bench.
It's almost like
permitting, of course.
Sorry, Simon. It's almost like they've just wanted to really disrupt the flow of the first 15 minutes of this second half, because they've just made a change every couple of minutes rather than making 2 or 3 at the same time. They've just every couple of stoppages they've then just made another change, and there's not been the same flow. England are making a couple of unforced errors, whether that's a result that they've not got their concentration because of it.
Quick transference as England really put the pressure on in defence. Azzurini's still playing. There's try scorer Coffey. Call coming in from Ruggieri, making his debut in this tournament. The Rugby Como second row, the ball in there for Marcus Smith. Marcus Smith puts his foot to the floor, pedal to the metal, and it's bye-bye, boys. Marcus Smith in for try number 2.
It looks like it was a long 50-metre run for him. Initially in the right place at the right time as the Italy attack comes to nothing. Drop the ball, it bounces into his hands. See, it's just that forced pass, the short line. Good pick up from Smith. He thinks he's in, but Italy not quite willing. Tommaso Coppo to give up the chase. A little sidestep left, a sidestep right. Make sure he gets over the whitewash.
Well, you can see the 22 just turned into quicksand about now.
Definitely hit a line of treacle there that he was trying to run through. But he got the jelly out the legs enough to make sure that he could still strike the ball through the uprights and have the 2 points.
So 18 points for Marcus Smith on his first start for the England under-20s. Another change in the front row. Joe Hayes has done his lot. Aaron Painter, the Northampton Saints tight head, gets a run out for the next 23 minutes or so. England now looking to get through the gears a little quicker and a little easier, perhaps, looking at that scoreboard. Brand just gets his box kick away as 2 big Italian forwards came through with intent.
Hey, release!
England's defence happy to put the pressure on Italian ball carriers, looking for that unforced error as per that Marcus Smith try. Little show and go from DiMarco. Not going very far though. So Italy have to go again. Ruggieri managing to cling on to the ball. Handling just a little bit sloppy. Fusco, and Italy have to now go from their own 22, and again England happy to pressurise the ball.
No release. No clear release.
Emphatic England defence, but in the end no clear release, and Italy get a chance to get out of their territory because they've not had much chance in this second half. England really turning the screw territorially. Italy will be desperate to at least sniff the England try line.
Alain Roland, the head of referees here in this tournament once again, no doubt will be delighted with the performance of Dan Jones, particularly in that first half. Had to deal with quite a few not necessarily contentious moments, but had to make some early calls and good calls as it turned out.
Out. Okay.
Nicolo Tadia trying to drive his team up into enemy territory. They might need their passports to get into the English 22, but
entry. 5 white side
make
entry.
the most of this penalty.
And again, a soft penalty from England to give away. Just lets Italy chip the way down the field.
10 white replacement. 10
An
white.
hour gone,
10.
and Marcus Smith's lot is done as Tom Hardwick, the Leicester Tigers fly half, comes on to replace him. Impressive hour from Marcus Smith. Done a lot of very good things, managed the game well, kicked well, and scored 2 very good tries, the first of which, of course, was a great virtuoso effort. Ogray with the breakaway. Painter, no thought of a sidestep from the big Saints prop, does well to set it back. Hardwick throws it wide. Dingwall. Almost too many players in that particular channel.
Marcus Smith can be more than happy with his hour. Always nice to get a couple of scores, but as you say, it's the rest of the game is game management on the whole, the basic skills.
Time off.
As we see another frustrating moment for Ibitoy. On that occasion, the pass just forced from Dingwall, slightly behind him. You can tell he's desperate to get hands on ball.
There'll be some interesting calls for Steve Bates and co to make in the 10 shirt, because Grayson had a very good game first out. Smith has proved what he's about in this match. Scotland next up. Be interesting to see who's wearing the 10 shirt.
Yeah, and we're just seeing the kind of the highlights reel of Smith from this game, and
Okay,
it's just his ability to play what's in front of him. Just that recognition of where the space is whether he's going through it himself, whether he's linking with players outside him.
Last scrum was
We saw the
better.
big wide pass he gave for another score early in the game. So those stats, from a personal perspective, we're more than happy with them. But yeah, for Steve Bates and the coaches, it's how does he get the rest of his backline playing? How does he make sure England play in the right areas?
And there's a familiarity that needs building and working on, no doubt. But it certainly looks promising from what we've seen so far of Marcus Smith. And he's turned 19 on Valentine's Day, so theoretically he's got another tournament next year to look forward to, if circumstances dictate, he says politically.
And the replacement England front row will be happy with that scrum.
Okay, cool.
Again, as Italy tire, you don't really want to see a fresh 16, 17, 18 jerseys on, especially the physiques that these guys have.
Back, please. Okay, that's legal.
Ray and Scott combine well once again. Certainly England have been far happy with their preparation coming into this tournament. Played South Africa at Six Ways as a warm-up, and it was a real tough warm-up.
Through the middle, fine.
Got them a bit more match-hardened, according to Steve Bates, and that means that they've been able to hit the ground running a little bit more potently than they did last year ahead of Tbilisi. Ball being squandered in the contact there.
Taken back, scrum,
forced back
ball.
over the line, which will give England the 5-metre scrum, but undue lack of attention really to the ball carrier, almost hindering England.
Italy did so well to turn them over. The Maul was trundling forward, and it's Coffey that gets the ball, but it's an absolute hospital pass he gives to Luca Crossato.
7 white and 13
He's
white.
got Will Butler breathing all over him.
Captain, please.
There's no option, and Butler just swamps Crossato, drives him over the line. So England still very much on the front foot.
Aaron Hinckley giving Ben Curry some downtime for the first time in this tournament, and well, it's not going to get easier for the Italian defence, because there's Jordan Olawufela, and we've already seen how tricky he can be. He's actually going to come on into the midfield.
Let's go, lads.
Lining up outside Will Butler.
Thank you, yeah. What number? 8. Perfect.
Josh Basham taking over captaincy duties from the sounds of it.
Thank you. Bind! Set!
And it's Basham controlling the ball as his forwards move forward. They get the call from the referee.
Lads, it already gone round. Penalty.
Deja vu, the call from the number 8. It was such an arm wrestle in the first half, but you get the feeling that the England changes, and maybe the Italian changes, have changed the equation at scrummage time.
Yeah, England don't look in any way weakened by the players that they've brought on, whereas Italy, maybe not the same strength, but also for the players that are still on, can't change the entire 8. The legs are going to be tired in that Italian scrum, and England are beginning to show that, turn the screw, gain that dominance.
The Italian pack under duress as England work their way towards the try line once again. Rory Brand finds his way to market. There is a Super 7 for England as they continue their march through Pool B.
Just a moment of individual brilliance from Rory Brand. The ball comes out of the scrum, and often that's a tough one to deal with as a scrum half. But he's got such sharp footwork, as we see here. Ball just kicks to the side, and he goes backwards to go forwards, and that's what does for Tommaso Coppo. He thinks he's in a good position to make the tackle, but just that little goose step, and we step back, and he's quite happy to float in at the corner.
Had an impressive match, has Rory Brand. Steve Bates, former scrum half himself, will really admire the opportunism and the tempo which the London Irish Niners brought to the game. Leicester Tigers 10. Tom Hardwick unable to quite curl that one round. Well, I mentioned the average between these two over the last 3 games in this tournament has been 58-6. It looks like it's heading for a similar outcome unless the Azzurrini can fire themselves up again. Every 2 years they seem to play each other. 2016 it was 48-10, 2014 63-3, and 2012 64-5. Italy need to find some spark of belief. Get the feeling their confidence has just been dented and diluted by the way that England have been playing their game. They could do with some points on the board. Lodomani bounces off one, bounces off another before setting it back for his captain. Been a big season for Michele Lamado. Petrarca Padova player of the season. And his birthday, of course, his brother Pietro already has this tournament on his CV. So a big day for the family. Crossato trying to find the smallest of gaps between front rowers to sidle his way through. His fellow front rowers try and blast the door off its hinges. A little dab through, but again, Brand very aware. Oliver Fehler up to the 10-metre line, tries to kick through. James Scott kicks it, but Hardwick was actually offside. I thought Hardwick was in front of Scott then. Play continues. The game becoming a little fragmented now. And the call goes to England. Good work again from Gabriel Ibatoy. That breakdown. Davide Ruggieri unable to get the ball back, and it's a quick take from Brand. The little dab through, Partons onto it, but the ball evades the England fullback as well as Alessandro Fusco.
England just trying to raise the tempo any opportunity they have. Again, it's the follow-up from Ibatoy and the replacement Aaron Hinckley that makes an average kick into a good one, because they swamp the Italian attack, win the turnover, and Brand wants to keep that tempo, take the quick tap, recognises the grubber kick option, just dribbles into touch before England can get hold of it though.
Italy so determined to press on both in terms of the elite, the men's team and the women's team, what we saw in the Six Nations. Of course, the impact that Conor O'Shea has had on the Italian pyramid, not just on the top-level teams. We're beginning to see they had their best ever finish last year in Georgia, finished 8th. And when you consider the previous 5 tournaments they'd been in the relegation playoff, it was a serious step up. They're just going to have to make sure that they can not allow their confidence to be dented too much from what seems to be a fairly emphatic England victory.
Yeah, and again, they've got to look at the positives they can take from it. Some of their defence, they've really made England work. Their scrum throughout that first half was at least level pegging with England. So, and the way that they came into the game, or came back into the game against Scotland, they can go into the Argentina game full of confidence and aim for another top 8 finish.
Okay, forward pass. Come forward.
Again, the ambition just eluding the England backline as they try and open things up inside the last quarter of an hour of this game.
Let's go through him, let's go through him. Let's go through him. Snap, boys. Let's go through him. Snap.
Plenty of confidence within the England pack. You can hear them geeing each other on to drive straight through the Azzurrini 8.
Back 5, let's go. Let it off. Do not let it off.
Okay, now let's go.
Seconds. Let's go.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Crossato with the feed, the front row sniff the turf, but play continues. Donofrio try score against Scotland and then yellow card as well, which looked to have scuppered Italy's chances in the last 5 minutes of the game. Wasn't to be. Big gap for the Italian 9 to thread the ball through. 10 minutes to go in this game. The result would seem to be sorted by now. It's a matter of the little feel-good factors that both teams will try and elicit from the last period of play.
Okay, Italy, line yours.
Looking down in particular at that Italian team, there are a lot of tired bodies, a lot of sore bodies as well. There's no doubt they have given absolutely everything against a physically dominant England team. They've made England work as well, especially in that first half.
And the line-out doesn't work for England this time. And is this going to be an opportunity for Italy to get something on the board? Donofrio tries to push it past Parton, is taken over the line by Olawafela.
Take him back.
Well, suddenly Italy finding that urgency and that potency to make an incursion through the England white line.
Yeah, and it comes from winning the turnover at the line-out, so the England backline, they're not set to defend, allows Italy to get to that wide channel. And they look for the grubber kick.
Let's go.
Doesn't quite come off, but ends up with England carrying the ball over their own line. So Italy, another great attacking position. Dan Jones, the referee, is not keen on the number of stoppages, especially from the Italians, I think. You can understand they're trying to
keep time on,
suck in every last breath.
Two fascinating games to come, of course, in Pool B. The old enemy, England against Scotland, next Thursday, and then there'll be a Latin one too, Italy against Argentina. That won't be short of passion, that's for sure.
Yeah, and lots to play for in both games as well. Obviously England will be wanting their perfect record, wants to go as one of the top seeds into the semi-finals. Scotland don't want to end their pool stages with no wins. Italy and Argentina both with 1 win, so all to play for them as well.
The Italian 8 doing its job to set the table. Can they make some headway? No, it's not. That's going to be disallowed.
You were held.
Donofrio was held, didn't release the ball. Hardwick sends it away from danger. Tom Hardwick, of course, big rugby family himself. His father, Rob, was a London Irish prop. 100+ appearances from memory for the Exiles, and also won his only England cap against Italy back in 1996. Tom obviously didn't fancy playing up at the dirty end of the team, so to speak, and fancied to be a little more elusive.
Can't blame him for that, really, can you?
No.
Italy unlucky there. Donofrio, just that second movement, he had been tackled, bounced back to his feet.
No, eight!
O'Gray just being careful in his alignment.
Play away, you weren't bound.
Becoming unbound, so Hardwick dabs the ball over the top. Olawafela up into the face of Fusco. The replacement doing well, but the rebound not working for the Azzurrini. Brand on halfway. Hardwick tries to keep things moving. Painter showing good hands, made his debut against Saracens for Northampton and impressed all that watched with his abilities. Ibatoy sees a big gap round the back.
He's up. Okay, hold discipline there.
Donofrio does well in the face of adversity, but then
advantage white.
Handling let down Lodomani. Ibatoy scavenging ball.
Advantage over.
Out it goes again. Kieran Knight now takes it on.
This way.
Forwards coming around the corner with intent. Josh Basham England's interim captain sets the ball back for his scrum half.
Okay,
Looks
balls
like
up, balls up.
Brand is going to play the full 80. Oliver Fela taken down by Lamado. Hinkley.
Knock on.
The ball stripped away from the breakdown. Looked to me like Sam Lewis got in the way intentionally there, and so did
penalty, yeah.
referee Dan Jones.
Okay, 5. Are you okay? Check it. Just checking, lads. Hold it there a sec.
I'm not sure there was
Full
much
play by 5 white.
Okay.
I'm not sure there was much that Sam Lewis could do to get out of the way of it, but we'll have a little look again. Oh no, he did.
No.
He took a step into him, and there's no.
And that's an elbow to the neck-head area. This could be problems for the Leicester lock.
Yeah, he definitely took a step
have you got me?
across.
Yes.
Where is the contact? Is it on
You
the
make
shoulder,
contact. Tommaso
neck, or
Coppo.
the head area?
This could be an issue for the England second row.
Contact is slowly. It's directly with the elbow in the head.
Yep, and
So you're
Dan
confused.
Jones
Hit
is
the
asking
head,
for
you're
that.
gonna see
He's
red.
made contact clearly with the head.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, just one more real time for me, please. Just one real time. Yeah, okay, fine, thank you. 5 white. Okay, you've led with the elbow to his head. I have no option but to give. Oh, sorry. I have no option but to
First
issue a
red card
Okay, elbow to the head.
of this year's World Rugby Under-20 Championship goes to the Leicester lock, Sam
Marcus.
Lewis.
Elbow to the head.
It'll make little or no difference to the outcome of this game, but everybody knows the situation.
Dan Jones and TMO Philippe Bonheur had no choice when he took that step across, and you can see just he lifts the elbow, and because he's so much taller, it's going to connect with the head. They don't have any choice. As you say, it won't impact this game. I wonder what sort of suspension he'll get and how that might impact England going forward.
We shall see over the course of the coming days.
Stop, man, stop. Whoa, 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 whoa. The standards have been very good. Let's not start it now. Give me a space.
Final 4 minutes of this one.
Out white. That's fine, thank you. Let's go.
Italy on the hunt for something to enjoy from this second half. It's not going to come from the line out as Tom Willis is first to react.
Release.
Straight out, almost inadvertently, to Ben Loader.
The advantage blue, knock on. Okay, no advantage coming, knock on.
Great fix, Ben.
And everything just a little bit frazzled now.
We win this.
I think there's fatigue creeping in on both sides. Ben Loader there just looking to kick in behind Italy. Inaccurate with the actual kick. And then Rory Brand couldn't gather the ricocheting ball. So England have to work out what they're going to do with Sam Lewis, their second row, no longer on the field.
Okay, let's go.
Now Basham steps up into the engine room.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Play.
Problems on this near side, but the referee happy to let the Italians continue play and get away from the breakdown area. Coppo in as auxiliary scrum half. Yazzurini trying to scramble their way a little further forward, but it's not accurate enough. They get held up at the breakdown. That time it was Matteo Canali there, the Rugby Colonna second row. But of course for concern for Rory Brandt. Impressive first start he's had in this tournament. For England, they will not want that to be an issue, much as they've got Ben White, of course, on the bench. And it looks like White may come on for the last knockings of this game.
Whitey after the penalty, yeah?
Yeah. Well, once the ball's gone off.
Wait.
He's coming off now. You can go on, Yeah, he's going now.
Okay, turn back on. Let's go.
So Ben White, the last of England's substitutes, comes on for a 90-second cameo. But this is what Rory Brandt has brought to the England side, brought to this game. Really has worked very hard, and Fabio Rosselli and Andrea Moretti will know they've been undone by a superior side today. The Italians have shown facets of a very impressive game if they can put it together, but England have had the nous and the wherewithal to be able to undo the Italian defence 7 times so far.
Once. Okay.
White pulls it out to Butler. Round the corner comes Kieran Knight. Played at number 8 as well as in the front row, Knight, so he's got some impact. The ball goes loose and it's hacked clear. Hardwick trying to get back there. Ibatoy's the first to it. Ibatoy showing good strength with the ball, but again his handling lets him down. Crissato is the first to react. Tadia scored a try at the end of their first game, of course, against Scotland. The cross kick is there. Coppo waits. Coppo knocks it back inside. There's a bounce of the ball there. It's going to go to Oluwafella. Oluwafella, whose twin brother Ryan was scoring for the England Sevens at Twickenham. He can't score, though, here at the Stade Aimé Giral. It's been an impressive England performance in parts. They've scored 7 tries. England continue to press their claims for a ticket to their 6th consecutive final with 7 tries in an England 43-5 victory over the Azzurrini. Plenty to ponder on both sides. Italy had plenty of positivity out of that first half, much as they didn't get points on the board. England worked hard to manipulate position. They relied on Marcus Smith in many parts to fire things. Let's get the thoughts of the England captain, Ben Curry. He's talking to our man, Colin Gregor.
Congratulations, Ben. Bonus point by half-time. Got to be happy with that performance.
Yeah, really happy. I think that was definitely an improvement on Argentina. Obviously, there's still a lot to work on, but no, really happy.
Good. Couple of things to work on, maybe handling errors too high for what you'd like.
Yeah, with the way we want to play, obviously that was quite an expansive game, so that's bound to happen. But yeah, definitely we'll look at Sunday to improve that.
And obviously Scotland, last game of the pool. Looking forward to getting out against them.
Yeah, like these other 2 games have been physical, and it's going to be another physical game. It's going to be a real test for the forwards. Yeah, we're going to have a good rest tonight, and then yeah, look at their footage and see what we can do there.
Good work, well done today.
Cheers, thank you.
So Ben Curry looking for revenge over Scotland. Of course, the only game that they lost in the Six Nations, England, was against the old enemy. So that will have its own particular ingredients, no doubt. Italy, well, they ended up beating Scotland and Wales in the Six Nations. That winning run that stretched to 3 has come to an end now. They have got to reset themselves for that Argentina match on Thursday. They always knew it was going to be the toughest match in this pool against last year's defeated finalists. England having reached the final, well, indeed, in 8 of the last 10 years. Of course, winners in 2013, 14 and 16. Looking to go that one step further again this season. But interesting to see what they make of those first 2 outings. Tries in the bag, of course, but it turns into a different tournament when you get to the semi-final stages. Has a very different impact. Italy looking to increase their 8th place finish, I should say, that they achieved in Georgia last season. Certainly it looks like they have got the attacking options, as James Ponton congratulates the England squad on job well done. Let's get down and get a reaction from the Italian camp with the birthday boy, the Italian captain, Michele Lamaro.
Firstly, happy birthday, Michele, but maybe not the birthday present you would have liked against a good England.
No, for sure. We knew that it would be a very hard match. England is a great team, but we thought before the match, if we put pressure in defense on them, we can play our balls how we can play. That's not the thing we've done, but for sure it's okay, because England it's a very great team.
And with 1 win and 1 defeat going into the Argentina game, you're still very much in the competition.
Yeah, we have the same points now, 5 we and 5 them. Now we have the 3rd match, and it will be the hardest, because even Argentina won against Scotland and they won in the great way. So it will be a very hard match, even the 3rd match.
Thanks, and good luck for that match.
Thank you.
So a disappointed Italian captain, understandably, perhaps very focused on the target for the Azzurrini. England will know what their focus is as they set up for Thursday's match against the Scots. Confident, no doubt, but certainly not taking their opposition lightly. Here's the pool tables with 2 rounds completed. Then England with the maximum haul, the maximum return from their 2 outings. It's going to be a Latin quick step, Argentina against Italy, as to who is going to have the possibility of making that 4th place in the semi-finals. Scotland still with it all to do, and up against England to finish things off in the pool stages. So England reinforce their credentials for a final finish once again. 7 tries in an emphatic performance. England the victors, 43 points to 5.
Une belle soirée et une prochaine journée qui s'annonce très belle, notamment avec ce match de Nouvelle-Zélande. Australie, jeudi, ça joue à partir de 18h30, on vous y attend pour le Quick Game Japon. Et puis Nouvelle-Zélande, Australie, 21h, gros match en perspective sur cette troisième rencontre.